A lone street lamp quivered over freshly paved asphalt as Dr. Maya Thompson pressed her forehead against the living room window, watching shadows dance across her lawn. Inside, her son lay asleep, dreams shielded by soft sheets. Outside, 3 silhouettes crept along the driveway, hands clutching cans of spray paint, and something that glowed faintly in the dark. In an instant, the scent of gasoline split the night. Before Maya could react, a white cross blossomed in flame, casting twisted shadows on freshly planted flowers. How far will a town go to chase away a family that only wanted a home? Dr. Maya Thompson had dreamed of Maplewood Lane for years. After earning her medical degree and raising her 10-year-old son, Jordan, she finally secured tenure at the state university. The suburban cul-de-sac promised the quiet streets and good schools she'd envisioned for her small family. Early morning jogs past picket-fenced yards, weekend barbecues with polite neighbors. Jordan's laughter echoing as he rode his bike from house to house. It felt like the American dream. On moving day, Maya unpacked framed diplomas in the sunlit study, while Jordan raced through hallways, declaring bedrooms his new kingdom. A neatly trimmed front lawn welcomed them, proof that this place would be theirs. But within a week, an anonymous letter arrived, warning that this isn't the place for people like you. Maya's heart sank as she crumpled the note in her hand, recalling the same warnings her grandmother once received decades ago. At Jordan's first parent-teacher conference, smiles faded into forced politeness. Subtle glances lingered on Maya's dark skin as she spoke about her son's love of science. The school directory misspelled her name. The neighborhood association sent a bill demanding removal of the African mask at her front door. Each slight stung more than the last, hinting at invisible lines she wasn't meant to cross. Still, every morning Maya laced her running shoes with hope. Every evening she kissed her son goodnight with a promise that this house would become their home. She didn't yet see the walls closing in. Walls built of fear, ignorance, and a history that refused to stay buried. By the second week, Maplewood's friendliness curdled into surveillance. Floodlights blinked on as Maya returned from her clinic shifts. Motion sensor cameras, supposedly installed for everyone's safety, trained on her front porch. Jordan's bike vanished from the driveway, only to reappear days later with its seat slashed and handlebars bent. A hastily stapled note read, "Go back where you came from." Maya filed a police report, but found herself waiting in a sterile precinct lobby as officers downplayed the vandalism as kids being kids. At the university, Maya encountered similar indifference. A colleague rallied support for her research, but refused to mention her name in faculty meetings. Grant applications she spearheaded were rerouted without credit. Every fight for respect wore Maya's spirit thinner. Still, she smiled at Jordan's jokes and read him bedtime stories of Harriet Tubman and Ruby Bridges, women who refused to yield to hate. One afternoon, a coach at Jordan's soccer practice refused to shake Maya's hand, waving her off with a dismissive nod. When Jordan told her about it that night, his small shoulders slumped. She tucked him into bed and played soft lullabies, vowing that no adult's cruelty would dim his bright spirit. As dusk fell on the day before July 4th, Maya found her African mask shattered at the foot of her porch steps. Splintered wood and painted shards lay strewn across her welcome mat. She boxed the fragments with trembling fingers, tears staining her lab coat. The next morning, news broke of cross burnings in neighboring towns, violent echoes of a history America pretended to have outgrown. Still, Maplewood Lane had remained quiet, until the night she watched flame lick the sky. Her phone lay in the kitchen, dead battery. Shouts rose from the street as Jordan's door rattled with trembling fists. When she finally pried it open, Jordan cowered in the closet, eyes wide as the burning cross illuminated his tear-streaked face. Maya's scream tore through the calm night, carrying with it every lifetime of pain and resolve she had ever stored. Neighbors peeked from behind curtains. Cars slowed but never stopped. The thin blue line arrived, minutes later. Too late. Flames danced hypnotically in the backyard, orange tongues reaching toward the sky. Maya's lungs burned from smoke as she hoisted Jordan into her arms. His body shook against hers, a small bundle of terror and trust. Behind her, a group of masked figures retreated into shadows, their muffled laughter swallowed by the night. The cross crackled, collapsing in on itself as Maya sprinted toward the street, embers raining down like dark confetti. Police cars rolled in, lights spinning overhead. But officers hesitated at the curb, uncertain whether to blare sirens or simply watch. In the chaos, Maya found the strength she thought had been extinguished long ago. Setting Jordan down on the pavement, she pointed toward the burning symbol of hate. No words were spoken. Her wide eyes, blazing with righteous fury, said it all. A single officer raised a hand, voice lost in the swirl of sirens and crackling wood. Maya grabbed Jordan, her grip fierce, and marched past flashing lights toward the nearest precinct. Pressing her face to the glass doors, she watched the cross's embers die in the grass. The world inside those doors had dismissed her before. Tonight, she would not be silent. Every step echoed with memories of her ancestors, men and women who marched on Washington, sat at lunch counters, and defied terror with nothing but dignity and truth. As the doors clicked shut behind them, she realized the fight for Maplewood Lane was only just beginning. Would the law protect her family, or force her to build her own sanctuary far from here? Dawn cast pale light over a charred backyard and smoldering embers tangled in blackened grass. News crews gathered at the curb, cameras rolling over the singed cross and the Thompson family's bruised but unbroken faces. Julia Payton, a local reporter, asked why they stayed. Maya lifted Jordan onto her hip, planting a gentle kiss on his forehead.
In her eyes, the answer shone. Maplewood Lane would not drive them out. No terror could erase their right to belong. A viral video captured Maya's silent march through blazing hate, her statuesque calm under a spotlight of flashing police lights. Across social media, hashtags demanding justice for the Thompsons trended. Neighbors who once whispered behind closed doors stepped forward to sign a petition banning cross burnings and installing community-run surveillance. At City Hall, Maya delivered a written statement, a call to recognize the history of racial violence and to build bridges of empathy before embers smolder in other front yards. Within days, the masked assailants were arrested. 2 teenagers radicalized by an online hate group. Prosecutors announced hate crime charges, and Maplewood Lane faced its reckoning. In the local park, a makeshift memorial sprouted candles and flowers where the flaming cross had stood. On weekends, Maya and Jordan led neighborhood cleanups and story circles, inviting residents to share traditions of hope and healing. Under a banner reading "Every Voice Matters," Maplewood Lane transformed from a battleground of prejudice into a community pledged against hate. But Maya never forgot the night justice arrived too late. Every morning she tied Jordan's shoelaces with quiet determination, reminding him and herself that vigilance is the price of freedom. How many more front yards must burn before America reclaims its promise of equality?